Welcome everyone to NR Truck Night in America, live here from Watkins Glen International Raceway for race 17 out of 28 in the Big Apple 200. Folks, after this race we head to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the final race of the regular season. After Indianapolis, we decide 12 drivers that will make the 10 race chase. But tonight, here at Watkins Glen, or I should say this afternoon, we might see some chaos that might shake up the pecking order heading into the chase. Folks, I welcome you all to Watkins Glen International Raceway. This one is going to be quite chaotic here this afternoon. Joseph Wood on pole, looking to go back-to-back here at Watkins Glen. Of course, last year he won in one of his first races in the Gainbridge Truck Series for the number 21 team and Floridian Motorsports. And now he comes back here 1 week removed from his teammate Brendan Haynes, getting his first career Gainbridge Truck Series win after 44 races of trying at Pocono. And now Wood looks to make it back-to-back with Chevrolet and Haynes Racing here at Watkins Glen, and what should be a very interesting race. Last year, of course, we saw a fuel mileage race take place here at Watkins Glen, and once again, it looks like that could be the case. A 23-lap race just like last year. The talk around the garage is that strategy once again will be uncertain. Who knows what could really happen here at Watkins Glen. When we take a look at your weather heading into this afternoon, about 70 degrees here, and it's going to be quite a pretty chill one for the drivers. Not as hot as we've seen in previous weeks, but 70 degrees, pretty nice. Some pretty nice weather for some road course racing. And of course, Joseph Wood, our defending race winner. We'll likely see pit stops around lap number 10. Could be as early as lap number 8 in a 23-lap race. That does open up the possibility for a two-stop race. But overall, folks, this is going to be quite the wild one here at Watkins Glen International Raceway. Here this weekend we have a lot of racing, but before we get into the ND2003 here later on this afternoon on AG the channel, folks, let's get into this Watkins Glen race, folks. Let's head on down trackside and go over all the things we need to know. So as I welcome you guys trackside down here at Watkins Glen International Race, we got a few things to go over, but to begin with, as we get into your point standings heading into this afternoon's race here at Watkins Glen, you can see that Aaron Abel now has a points lead over his teammate Angel Gutierrez and Avery Alford. It's going to be quite a tight race going into Indianapolis next week when it comes to regular season championship. The lead is split from 3 teammates in a matter of 3 points. So it's going to be quite the interesting one. Matthew Hubert still just behind him. Lost a little bit points from last week, but he is still looking very solidified in about 4th place in the standings. Meanwhile, he's got Ricky LaFleur right behind him. LaFleur been in kind of a dry spell as of late, running some mechanical issues and just not having the finishes that we've seen earlier in the season. Although Red Bull Fallout Racing has had some luck with Ronnie Hauger, can this 82 team and his teammate, the 84 Patrick Nolan, who currently sits 9th in the standings, run well here today? That's going to be a thing to watch out for, because that 84 of Nolan is on the danger zone of falling out of this chase with the guys like Joseph Wood, Kyler Sustre, Brendan Haynes, all jumping up here looking to vie for that final chase spot. As we get into the rest of your standings, you can see Alexander Rowe and Caleb Rowe still sitting there in 6th and 7th. Of course, Alexander Rowe had a pretty bad wreck with his teammate Carson Miller last week at Pocono, so they both DNF in that race. So Vision Motorsports is looking to get back on track. Of course, Hubert finished 2nd last week. He is the defending Indianapolis race winner, so it'll be somebody to watch next week. But definitely going to be one of those races where this 7 and 23 team try to get back going. Of course, Carson Miller has fallen all the way back down to 9th in the standings. Ronnie Hauger jumped all the way up to 8th from 11th, so he's still battling on that cutoff line despite having 3 wins on the season. So you just have to have more consistent performances if you're that number 83 team. Meanwhile, we have Chris Martin sitting here in 11th. BO Racing has looked very solid so far this season, but Martin's starting near last in this race here this afternoon. Going to open up the spot for potentially that Haynes Racing duo to jump up in here, or even a guy like Kyler Sustre, who's looked very solid in the past couple weeks, or that number 97 of Matthew Burnett. So that is your point standings coming into this afternoon's race. Not too much to go over, but in terms of the cutoff line battle, it's mostly just that Haynes Racing duo trying to make it in along with Kyler Sustre and Matthew Burnett. All the guys behind them are kind of statistically out, but depending on what chaos occurs with the fuel strategy and whatnot here this afternoon, it could just open this cutoff line battle wide open heading into next week's race at Indianapolis. But right now, it's kind of just about 11th through 16th trying to make it. Of course, you have Jasmine Daniel there as well, and 16th for Lego McLaren, but they have not quite had the luck in the past couple weeks under new ownership. Of course, Nick Mahold has stepped down as team principal of Lego McLaren, just too busy, so he's not going to be running the team. They do have a new owner that will be revealed later on this weekend after this race, most likely Sunday press conference, but yeah, they will have a new owner, so hopefully Daniel can get something on track, especially here this afternoon, as she is starting pretty well, just outside the top 10. So she definitely has a good chance at getting back into this chase fight after at least at one point running just top 10 most of the races so far this season. Just sitting there in 10th in the chase standings, but unfortunately ever since then has kind of been a dry spell. But that's kind of been the theme for a bunch of drivers. Some drivers are heating up, some drivers are coming down, but that's just kind of the field getting closer and closer. Um, so it's just something to watch out for. The field's getting closer and closer every single week, so it's just making it tougher on these drivers to keep up consistent performances. But that is your point settings coming into this afternoon. But like I said, field's getting closer, especially this week. We see a lot of drivers that we don't see usually up here because it's a road course. You see Peter Onjak up here, Patrick Nolan, who struggled, is up here. Matthias Bento's been having a solid past couple weeks, but then you have guys like Adrian Gale, Emily York Watson, David Dixon, Caden Arcadia, all qualifying pretty well here this afternoon because this is a road course where they are strong at, so they definitely all have chances at capitalizing on this win. Of course, Peter Onjak last season was in line to win that race before he ran out of fuel just before the start-finish line, and Joseph Wood, our pole sitter here this afternoon, went on to win that race. So Onjak starting in 11th here this afternoon definitely has a lot of momentum coming into this race. But overall, folks, this is going to be quite the show here from Watkins Glen. It's going to be 23 laps around this track. No cautions, of course. This is a road course, so whatever happens, happens. Likely going to be some chaos. We will see that pit entry is quite troubling for some drivers, but we will see how it goes, folks. With no further ado, let's get these trucks fired off and rolling here. Get the starting command, and let's see the green flag here as they pace around, and we'll go over your top 10 in this race and the rest of the lineup here at Watkins Glen. Race 17 of 18 and the regular season. Only one more race remains after this one, and it is Indianapolis. What chaos can transpire here at Watkins Glen that could potentially shake up the field heading into Indianapolis?
NASCAR Nation, let's do it! Drivers, start your engines!
Brandon, you got me on two? Yeah, that four-wheel fuel there. You got me on two.
So as the trucks roll off here from Watkins Glen International Raceway, let's take a look at your starting grid in this race. In row number one, it's the man from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, Joseph Wood on pole, looking to go back-to-back here at Watkins Glen. On his outside is A.R. Alfred, the ever so fierce driver, looking to get his fourth win on the season, become the most winningest driver so far this season. Let's see if Alfred can do it here this afternoon. In row number two, it's Alfred's teammate, Aaron Abel, alongside that number 82, Ricky LaFleur. He won the most previous road course race at Fuji Speedway all the way back in Japan at the start of our in-season tournament. Can LaFleur potentially go back-to-back at road courses? In row number three, it's the 84, Patrick Nolan, and the last week's winner, the 36 of Brandon Haynes. After 44 races of trying, Haynes finally got his first win. Now he looks to go back-to-back here at a more formidable track than Pocono ever was for Haynes, Watkins Glen. Row number four is that number 7 of Alexander Rowe alongside his driver, that number 83 of Ronnie Halger. Rowe and Halger had a photo finish, the closest finish in NTNA history at New Smyrna just 2 weeks ago. These two will be starting side by side here in row number 4 here today. In row number 5 is the 43 of Angel Gutierrez, the man who's led points for the most part this season. Can he somehow string together a good performance and get that points lead back from his teammate Aaron Abel? And starting in 10th is that number 27 of Matthew Hubert. Hubert finished second last week, the defending Indianapolis winner. Can he win here this afternoon at Watkins Glen and potentially look to go back-to-back at Indianapolis next week in the season and in the race? And you see the rest of the order on the left side of your screen. Some notable guys here like Peter Onjak qualifying pretty well. We'll see how they do here this afternoon here at Watkins Glen. But a busy day of racing up ahead for all of you guys. The Indy 250s have taken place after this one, so definitely want to see that. But it is now time for these truckers to take it around here at Watkins Glen. It's going to be quite the challenging one, but these drivers tend to do pretty well here at these road courses. Typically one of our higher viewed races, somehow these road courses, but we'll see how Joseph Wood does here this afternoon. Chevrolet, a little bit of a roll going on now. They got their first win since season 1 at Homestead, And now, here they go. The pace truck's going to dive it down pit road. It's going to be a Chevrolet leading us to green, I think, for the first time this season. Joseph Wood looking to go back-to-back here at Watkins Glen. The green flags underway here for the Big Apple 200. And as they make their way through, it's going to be Avery Alford leading lap number 1. Some contact between the two leaders on that lap there, but Avery Alford in the lead lap number 1 over Joseph Wood. Meanwhile, we saw that 84 Patrick Nolan give a shot to that 41 of Aaron Abel earlier on in that lap, but you already see drivers already putting it all on the line, but Wood now going to have to chase after that number 42 of Avery Alford. They battled side by side for quite some time that lap, but now as we make our way back through, you see Alexander Rowe battling with Matthew Hubert here, two teammates going at it for what looks like to be 8th, and it looks like Hubert might just get it there, working on the outside. Meanwhile, Ricky LaFleur to the inside for 2nd here, going into the S's. LaFleur on the inside of that 38 of Wood. Oh, and Onjak around behind. Peter Onjak goes around with Adrian Gale, and that is just, you just can't write it. I mean, this constantly happens, and what we see it right there. Onjak goes around, and him and Gale. Oh, and Gale's going to be out of this race, I think, too. So that's not good for Peter Onjak, as that truck goes completely around and has a great qualifying performance. But once again, that 03 team on the wrong side of luck once again. And you just hate to see it for that 03 team. Gone through a lot so far this season. Meanwhile, Ricky LaFleur has moved into 2nd over that 38 of Joseph Wood. And everybody kind of over a blanket in this top 10, but some big contact between those two there. And Gale looks like he's going to have a lot of damage on that truck. And Onjak is going to make his way back around, but I mean, it's got to be frustrating if you're that 03 team, as this has just happened so many times. And now going to be a little bit on the unfortunate end there. Not quite the spot you usually see Rex, usually coming off that final turn, but fortunately for Onjak, it occurs right there. And we'll see if he's able to continue this race, but we'll get a better look at what happened there in just a second here as they make their way around. All right, so let's go get a better look at what happened to the 03 of Onjak as they make their way around. Looks like Onjak's still going to run here. Looks like he's doing a little bit fine. So looks like his truck isn't too badly damaged, but likely going to have to fix a lot of that damage on pit road, as Sarah Taylor's down on pit road as well. So right on with the roof cam of Onjak. He just gets taken out by Gale, who goes around, and yeah, that's not quite what you'd like to see. Gale makes a mistake, really hits the apex really hard there, and yeah, so that's what transpired there to bring out, well, not bring out the caution, but cause these two to get in that little debacle. We'll see another look here, and then we'll get back to your live racing action. But Adrian Gale just hits the apex too hard, and it ends it, well, ruins his and Onjack's day. Two Season 1 chase drivers that had some very good performances last season, but now are on the struggle bus here this season so far, both for Chevrolet. So we're back live here at Watkins Glen Racing. You see a better look on the left side of your screen of what happened there, but yeah, it's just, well, not on the left side of the screen, but you see it in the replay there, but yeah, that's just one of those incidents that you hate to see it, because especially for Team Chevrolet, they've just had a rough season, and you hate to see it for one of their two of their flagship drivers from last year. Well, one of their flagship drivers from last year, and one just overall flagship driver, and Peter Onjack and Adrian Gale, and they just unfortunately come together there, and yeah, that's what's going to bring out, well, not bring out the caution, but that's what's going to be our first little bit of contact we see here at Watkins Glen, and we'll see how the rest of this race goes, but you know, you hate to see it. Those are two guys that you want to see succeed after the season they've had so far, but just a rough situation overall. See different lines that LaFleur is taking here compared to that number 42 Avery Alford, but you're gonna see guys really push it there. Some guys will make contact depending on how it goes, but yeah. So 40th Chris Martin is coming down to pit road, so that's not good for him in terms of the chase battle. Davis really pushing the limits. Onjack doesn't look like he has too much damage somehow, but I mean, he was running really well, but I mean, the overall incident there, I mean, you see Gale, if you look really hard, Gale really locked up the tires going into the S's there, and unfortunately after that, he just had nowhere to really go as Onjack pushing it close on the entry there, but yeah, it's just one of those racing incidents. Onjack was just running his line. Unfortunately, that 03 unfortunately that 96 just had nowhere to go after he just completely spun out. Almost like Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. at the Roval. But right now, Avery Alford still leading. Kid from Virginia, looked very good so far this season, but unfortunately has not had the race win. Well, he's had a lot of race wins, but there's a lot of races that have gotten away from this 42 team, but they are definitely one of the fastest teams in the field. Alford honestly looks like one of the best drivers in the field so far this season. I mean, I'd say he's the best at racing motorsports so far in terms of just complete performance. This guy can do it at any track, and you don't want to face him at a short track, that's for sure. Even though they've gotten away from him, you don't want to face this 42 team at a short track. But right now, everybody kind of running single file, just settling down here a little bit. Oh, some guys really getting into the dirt there, though. But there's a lot of spots here where we will see some contact in this race, but nothing too much. I think we've already seen some contact with this 01 and 8, as they definitely have tire marks on the side of their machines. We saw it on this 45 and 40 as well. Chris Martin's had some tire marks, but right now everybody's just trying to keep it going and keep on pushing forward. I mean, we're kind of close to the pit window already on lap number 8, believe it or not, which I'm going to shake this one up quite considerably. If you're this 03 team, you're in an interesting spot. I don't know quite if they have a chance. I mean, they might be on some separate strategy that works out. I think the 96 will be out of this race. Yeah, he will be out. So I don't think that, I was going to say Gale could have been on alternate strategy too, but I don't quite think so. But right now, just trying to see how long these guys will go for, because that really gives a tell on how this race will go. So Hubert's all the way up in 8th so far in this one. Meanwhile, Alexander Ray all the way back down to 10th. He started 7th in this one. And anybody else rising? Really, no, not quite. Gator Arcadia all the way down to 23rd. I think he started a little bit higher than that, but you know, he's just had some ones get away from him as well. But that 41 of Aaron Abel right on the back of this 38 of Joseph Wood, likely trying to give him some pressure here and try to get past him, as Wood has kind of been just a sitting duck here. That 38 team doesn't quite have what they need so far in this part, but we did see last season this 84 of Nolan really goes wide there, but here we go. This 41 of Aaron Abel to the inside of the 38 of Joseph Wood, as Nolan made a mistake back there, but now Wood gonna really arc it into this corner here, but that 41 right on the back. That bus stop gonna be one of the interesting spots, and Abel gonna try and arcing around that outside here, going into turn number 1, but side by side for what would be third here. This race is all about strategy. Can this 38 team, assuming that they do have the same crew chief on the top of that pit box from last season, can they do what they did last year and just conserve as much fuel as they can, not push it? That might be what this 38 team is doing. They're not using too much fuel that's unnecessary, and they're just trying to go. But right now, they're racing side by side with this 41 of Aaron Abel. Who's going to be the last one to break here going into the S's? Will it be Abel or will it be Wood? It's going to be... I know it's quite even there, honestly. But it looks like Wood back to the inside. Oh, no. 41 of Aaron Abel going to arc around the outside. Yeah, I mean, the inside's just not the preferred line at this track somehow. It looks like the outside's just way better for getting a run off the corner. Now Wood going to fall all the way back to what will be 4th here. And he was running 10th before he won the race last year, so maybe he's just trying to settle down, not use too much fuel, make the load lighter on the truck when you have to come down pit road and get more fuel. But Ricky LaFleur really trying to work on this 42. He's trying different type of lines here to get around this number 42, but some of them are working well, some of them aren't. But he's still keeping pretty close with them. So as we get closer here, oh, Alfred already gonna come down to pit road. That's a little interesting. So lap number 6 is when Avery Alfred comes down pit road. So we'll see how that plays out. This is definitely gonna be a 2-stop race, but who can try to stretch it to the end is the question that we're all gonna be wondering. But our leader already making an early stop. Don't think he's having any issues either. So yeah, he's making a super early stop here. Gonna be joined by that 57 of Sanjo Vittoria, trying to join on with this 42 and trying to get something going. But that's going to be the story all day. How will pit strategy play out? We won't really know until the final lap. Let's be honest here, folks. So this is going to be the one of the more interesting races here to kick off this great day of NR2003 Racing. But yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those races where you don't quite know till the end. But now LaFleur's going to be in the lead. But lap 6 is not too crazy. Lap 7, I guess you could say, not too crazy in terms of Avery Alfred. Avery Alfred is one of the more aggressive drivers in the field, and the more aggressive you are, the more fuel you will burn. Now, was that the case there? We will see. I'm not too sure, but I mean, it breaking the fourth wall here, but that literally is what is in the AI I9. The more aggressive you are, the more stuff you will burn up because you're just trying to get as much as you can. So, yeah. So, who knows what could really happen, but like I said, this is going to be one of the races to kick off quite a great. This is going to be one of those interesting races that kicks off with just a solid day of racing overall. Of course, you have all the events that will occur in real life on Sunday, the Indy 500, the Charlotte race, but especially on the NR2003, the Indy 250, kind of the spectacle of IndyCar racing on this game. And then you have the JBL Cup Series, Coca-Cola 600, and we all, of course, had the Wawa Cup Series wrapped up with theirs last night. So just an interesting spot of racing. Meanwhile, Carson Miller on the inside of this 52 of Emily York Watson. Miller looks like he's going to be coming down to pit road. Miller famously last season made his debut at this track in the 41 truck for Nice Motorsports. Almost won that race in this race start, led a bunch of laps coming to the end, but could not quite make it in the end. But we'll see how he does here this afternoon. He's got some experience. That's the one unique thing. Fortunately for Onjak and Gale, those were two guys that ran really well at this track last season. But unfortunately, we're not able to get the win. But we've seen in terms of the qualifying here this afternoon, the pace is really translating from last year. The guys who have more experience from last year's race definitely qualified up here. But of course, we've seen 2 or 3 already be kind of taken out. So now LaFleur, when does he come down? Now we're closing up on to lap number 9. Will that be when everything occurs? Joseph Wood kind of holding on strong here in third. Meanwhile, wow, you see these two cats have been battling so much, but Ronnie Halker and this 84 Patrol teammates have been going at it so many times here, but they've just been racing side by side constantly, but they have not quite just gotten rid of each other just yet. But now it looks like Nolan's going to hold off that 83 once again. Brandon Haynes going to be coming down to pit road here. Does anybody else join them? The 32 of Arcadia already coming down. 32 of Arcadia was already down, I think. So see how this 36 team does. Of course, got that win last week. The 62 of Luke Evans was coming off the road there. My apologies. Still have to get used to that scheme switch there between those two, but right now there's quite a huge gap here. Nick Mahol quite holding up all these guys back here, it seems. He's running a left currently, but it looks like he's kind of a moving chicane as he's got everybody backed up. I mean, look at David Dixon though, running all the way here in 16th for Gale Force Racing. That's a good run for that team. Dixon's the guy to watch out for in this race. Dixon is, he legitimately is the best fuel mileage racer in the series. He's won some races in some pretty spectacular fashion. He's got 2 chaotic race wins, one at IRP on a separate strategy last season, and one at Richmond in a fuel mileage race. So David Dixon, there's something to pop off in this one. That number 19 would be honestly my likely choice if he, that would likely win it, because he falls right into the right situation every single time. The New Zealander I don't know, he's just got something to knack for just being great when the chaos happens. But this run is stretching pretty long, so if you're this where is he? If you're this number 42 of Alfred, do you get a little bit worried here about how long this run's going? Because, this is quite considerable, as Carson Miller's got his hood off, and I'm going to assume he made some contact with somebody, as the 30 of William Ayers is out with the camshaft issues. So that's not good for Anjada, who's already had a pretty bad start to the day. And yeah, it looks like that 23 of Carson Miller did have some issues there, and you see the replay on your screen, and that's just not good for that 23 team after what happened to them previously last week, where they had a DNF, but now the hood is off on that truck. So now here we go. Dixon's coming down. All the leaders finally came down. Who will come off pit road first? Joseph Wood does have that preferred box, but can he use it to his advantage here and come out first? Oh, some trouble on the right side of that truck for the 38 team, but he will come out in front of Aaron Abel. So pretty solid stop for that team. But they definitely could have gotten the lead, because they definitely had some issues on that right side of the truck extra long, but he'll make his way off, and your leader will be the 42 Avery Alford, but we still have one stop left in this race, so it's overall still going to be quite the chaotic one. Meanwhile, Sergio Vittoria is going to move all the way up here. Pitting with Avery Alford is going to work out a little bit in the short run, but how will it work out long term for this team? David Dixon came down with them as well, so Dixon's going to be in a pretty solid spot here as well. But did anybody stay out here that's notable? The 83 of Halger stayed out, so man, this is going to be quite the interesting run to the end of this race in terms of pit strategy. But he's got that 23 of Hubert, the 43 Gutierrez, and the 99 of Dorn, and one more following right behind Alexander Rowe as well. So they likely will bring it down this time, but we'll see how it goes. So here they come. Don't want to mess up that entry too much. You can't run too wide. And they look like they'll just get in just fine here. So these are the final pitters here. Unless Mahold. Oh boy. They're really pushing it here. Oh, and Rose missed pit road. Oh no. Caleb Rose misses pit road, and that's going to spell some trouble for that team. And he's going to have to take it back one more time around. So Rose is going to be a little bit off on strategy now with everybody else, but Avery Alford's going to move back into the lead here, it looks like, unless these guys come out in front of him. Halger does have a chance. They're already on the right side of that truck, but some extra time spent on the right side. But Alford already passed. Oh, Alford. Alfred just run into the inside wall on pit road? I think he did. I mean, you don't usually do this, but I think he just ran into the outside wall. Inside wall. Oh my. Avery Alford has an engine issue or something, and his teammate Aaron Abel smashes right into the back of him. Oh, LaFleur pushes it close, and then he just stalls it there, and then Aaron Abel nowhere to go, right into the back of him. Oh no, disaster for racing motorsports here at Watkins Glen. Avery Alford's engine goes out, and that's going to collect his teammate and him, and they're both likely to be out of this race here. Oh no, and that's going to hand this race right to the 82 Ricky LaFleur. Now Caleb Rose is going to be running this extra long here. He is in the lead currently, but now Ricky LaFleur has the net lead, and second will be that 38 of Joseph Wood. But man, oh man, Racing Motorsports, that is not what you need there. And Alfred, I think, just had an issue. It doesn't say any. Oh, a tire went down. Tires. These Hoosier tires, time and time again, have been going out. And it happens to Alfred there from the net lead. And I mean, that is just unlucky, as he would have had quite the gap too. So now, Aaron Abel's likely going to be out of this one. Yep, he's going to be out of this one. We'll see if Alfred continues, but I think it's quite unlikely. Oh, Avery Alfred is going to continue it, but I mean, he's going to be quite a few laps down now. Oh, and he just hits the wall coming off pit road. So, I mean, see how that 42 team does, but that is quite the blow to their race. It's likely over for them, but we'll see how the rest of this one plays out. It's kind of a two-stop race, so we'll see who's going to be able to make it to the end. But right now, the 82 Ricky LaFleur has the lead. Joseph Wood going to be in second. Meanwhile, this 42 Avery Alford once at the net lead, now likely going to bring it back down pit road, I would say, because he's going to have quite some damage from the rest of the contact from everybody. So we'll see how it plays out, but I think this 42 is going to likely have to bring it right back on down. So that is not something you see every day, but Racing Motorsports self-implosion, and they're going to all make their way around. This 42 is clearly off the pace. So we're going to be coming to 10 to go the next time we hit the line. This 82 Ricky LaFleur currently has the lead, but we know this one isn't over just yet. These guys likely have one more stop under their tank, especially this 38 of, never mind. The only guy who had really the only one who's going to really pit super early here is going to be that 57 of Sergio Vittorio, most likely. So we'll see how he fares, but he's on some quite considerably older tires. Meanwhile, Jasmine Daniel going to likely, well, they're good it seems. Early off the pace here for a second. 84 Nolan on pit road, and Sustre into the outside wall. But the 84 Patrick Nolan on pit road, does he have an issue? Possibly. No, it doesn't look like he's just going to bring it down here and try to shoot for the end, I think, possibly. Or there might be another lingering issue. Wood in a great spot here in second. Trying to make it back-to-back for Chevrolet. Chevrolet before that Haynes one did not win in almost a whole year, as they last won in August at Homestead. So I mean, it's been quite a while since they won a race, but they look like they're finally back in some speed, because that Haynes Racing team looks good. Peter on Jack looks pretty solid. Of course, we've seen Gale Force run top 10 here today with that number 9 of David Dixon, and Dixon will have that 97 to Burnett right behind him, but I mean, they're doing solid so far for how their season has started. They definitely have some pace. On Jacks ran into a lot of bad luck, but one day that 03 team will finally get that get luck back on their side, but till then it's going to be quite a dry spell for that 03 team. But here we go, coming to 10 more to go, and this race still one stop left. Who can make it to the end is the question. We know we have one stop left, but, well, for some guys have one stop left, but some guys will try to stretch it as much as they can. Osborne running pretty solid here. Lots of guys you don't really see up here. He's running really solid. Miller trying to fight back after his rough start. Rose missed pit road, but he's running pretty decent. And back behind here, just the 37 of Bento's, the 84 of Nolan all the way back here. Nolan possibly trying to do what that number 42 was doing, but I mean, that was quite early for a stop like that. So, looks like we'll see how much this gap grows here, but 62's having issues. Luke Evans has an engine failure going on. Tricky exit for that 82 team, but Evans gonna likely just sit here on the outside line, make it easy on this guys. That's a good move by him. And he'll bring it down pit road. Oh, Hubert, man. Whew. Hubert coming in hot there. Always an interesting sight there. But yeah, 62 of Luke Evans gonna have some issues here, and we'll see the 8 of Max Davis also on pit road. But I'm quite interested in how this is all going to play out in the end, because we know at least most of the field's going to pit, but there's always going to be about 2 or 3 drivers that don't pit. I mean, this 97 and 9 have been back so hard here. Matthew Burnett right on the back of Dixon, trying to get something going, but I mean, it's just not been able to get past Dixon. He was holding in strong here, but right now, just in the middle part of the race, trying to see how this plays out and how ultimately the pit strategy will work. But LaFleur trying to go back-to-back at road courses. Wood's gonna wisely bring it down. Oh, really close. I mean, these guys gotta watch out on that pit entry there. They're getting super close, but Haynes now trying to get past this 8 of Max Davis. Some lap traffic here. We'll see if anybody follows that number 36 down. I mean, not number 38 down. Doesn't look like it. So Wood gonna likely try to shoot for the end now. But can he capitalize and have a great track position when this all comes through? So tires and fuel for that 38 team. Wood, of course, looking to go back-to-back, but now it's going to be this 82 in control. He's got his teammate in second, that 83 of Hauger. Hauger has a little bit more pressure, stayed out longer and longer. but now he's going to try and get something going. Oh, my Haynes is struggling here. Did he make contact with the back? He did. I think he made contact with the back of that number 8 there. So he's struggling quite a little bit last week's winner, but we'll see if he can pull through. But I mean, that's just a wild spot there for that number 8 and that number 36 team, as they really struggle this. Here comes LaFleur coming down, so it looks like possibly this year everybody going to be playing it safe and bringing it on down. Interesting here. Will anybody try to stretch it though? Nope. Wow. You don't typically see this at the Glen. Usually they all try to stretch it long. Oh, Burnett's into the outside wall, misses pit road, and now it's going to be an interesting run here as I have a pop-up. Sorry about the 32 of Arcadia misses pit road, hitting the wall as well. So everybody's just all bringing it down now, which is kind of wild. We usually don't see that here. Here comes Wood, but man, I mean, he lost a ton of time where he came in from, where he's going to come out right behind that 82. So LaFleur is going to be another quite a good spot, but it looks like this year we might not have a fuel mileage race to the end. That's the first time we have not had a fuel. We're not going to look for a fuel mileage race likely, unless Bento can hold up this 38 of Wood. It looks like it's going to be Ricky LaFleur's race to lose. So we'll see how this ultimately comes through to play out, but I mean, this is going to be quite a run to the end. So Burnett takes it down pit road here, but we're going to see this Andy of Mulholland be the leader now, so that's quite interesting. So this is going to be quite the run to the end here, because now the 80 of Mulholland leads, which we'll see how it plays out. But and now that 37 of Bento trying to hold this 82 as much as he can, allow his teammate to get to him here, but Bento putting up a tough fight, but that 82 LaFleur is going to eventually work around him. But Wood trying to follow right behind, trying to go back to back, but it might just not be his day. Once looked like it was going to be the 42 of Avery Alfred's day, but doesn't quite play out for him as these guys are coming down. And likely the 80 going to come down as well. So we'll see when this 80's gonna bring it down. But right now, there's a lot of lap traffic ahead of this 82. So he's gonna have to try to hold. No, he's gonna have to hope this 37 somehow holds up his teammate, which looks like it could be the case here. Bento is really slow, but Mahold gonna stay out another lap. This is a little wild here. Bento finally brings it down, but now LaFleur trying to stay in put, but now Benny Watson's gonna be scored a second here, actually, so he's gonna be in front of this 82 of LaFleur. We try to hold him up a little bit. So this is gonna be interesting. And can this 80 potentially make it to the end is my question. We don't quite know the fuel strategy. I don't know if they pitted already, but they're trying to stretch it here, which is a good valiant effort by that 80 team. So now 75 of Benny Watson holding up this 82 of LaFleur. And that's going to allow Joseph Wood to come into the picture here. And Benny Watson really putting down the brakes on this 75, on this 82. But does Mahold come down this time? I don't know if he can make it to the end. I'm not sure if he pitted already. Now there goes the 82, really forcing it to the inside of that number 75, and now Watson gonna concede that here, but that's gonna really put Wood in the picture here. But here comes the 80 finally coming down, so 75 gonna come down as well. So now it looks like coming to what will be 3 more to go now at the line. It's this 82 Ricky LaFleur gonna be in the lead. Can he hold on to those? You got Joseph Wood right behind him. One lap traffic ahead is that 03 Von Jack. Does he park the bus in front of this 82? We've seen a bunch of guys try to help out this 38 so far here today. Can they do it once again? What is just about 1.5 seconds behind this 82 of LaFleur. We think everybody can make it to the end, but who knows? This could turn on its head so quickly. So I mean, I think he's gonna come up on this 03, so this is gonna be quite interesting. And everybody should be fine to the end. But who knows? The Glen, I mean, they all put it on lap, what, 18? So I mean, yeah, they shouldn't really be coming down here, I don't think, anytime soon. But now LaFleur looking to come to 2 to go next time around. 2 more laps in this Big Apple 200. Lots of chaos here today in terms of pitch strategy. Some guys came down super early. It looked like it was going to work for that 42 team, but unfortunately, they just have a tire go down, and now going to be in a tough spot. In this race today, I believe they are a lap down. Avery Alford, yeah, he's running 36, so just not the run he wanted. The 03 Von Jack didn't have the run he wanted either. Got taken out by that 96 of Gale. So 2 more to go in this race. Gonna be quite the finish. Well, 3 more to go actually in this race, I believe. Unless the ticker's not updated. Yeah, 3 more to go in this race. My apologies. Wood is trying to trail behind. It's about 3 seconds, so he is kind of losing time to this 82. So next time as we hit 2 to go, all these guys are trailing behind. I don't think they're going to catch up, but speed of just what you need. If something happens to this 82 to really catch up, but it looks like it's going to possibly be Ricky LaFleur going back-to-back at road courses here. Here we go, coming to 2 to go in this race. Everybody should be good to the end. We'll see, but here we go. 2 more to go here in this Big Apple 200 for that number 82 team. Looks like everybody's going to be good to the end here. Nobody going to have to come down to pit road, it seems. So this will be solidified. It looks like it's due to the 82 Ricky LaFleur getting his 3rd race win on the season. You know, LaFleur's had an interesting set of weeks. Honestly, hasn't been too active. Honestly, he might be close to falling under the lotted back rule. But now looking to capitalize on all the things that have just happened around him here today and try to get that 3rd race win on the season. Won at Fuji. I think he won at Pikes Peak as well. So he's pretty good at conserving stuff, because that Pikes Peak run he was conserving all the way till the end. But now, as we make our way through, looks like this is going to be the white flag here. Because, yeah, I mean, I think everybody's going to make it. So here we go for Ricky LaFleur. Going to make his way through this boot area once again, and then take it on down the front stretch for one more time in this race. LaFleur looking to go back-to-back in this one. Or not back-to-back. Looking to go back-to-back in road courses in this one. I mean, this gap's only increasing to Joseph Wood as well, so he's really just using all his stuff to drive away here. But here we go for Ricky LaFleur. It's going to be one more to go. As you can see the white flag here at Watkins Glen, Red Bull Fallout. Well, Red Bull Fallout and Racing Motorsports have all kind of been going back and forth all throughout. And the streak was snapped finally last week, but once again this week it looks like it's going to be another Red Bull Fallout truck back in victory lane. It's going to be the 82 Ricky LaFleur. Unless nothing happens here on this final lap, getting that race win. So everybody gonna follow through here, but oh, some guys are not gonna be able to make it to the end. Oh no, Haynes is not gonna be able to. The 84 Nolan. Oh boy. Do we see this 82 pit before the line? This is gonna be quite shaky. This is gonna be shaking up quite a bit. Yeah, some guys are not gonna be able to make it. Oh, this is gonna be close. So LaFleur gonna make his way through here. Can he make it to the end? Because we see some guys come down, but we will see as he makes his way through this boot section. Does he come down the pit road here? And if he does come down, I think he might just have enough space to get past to this 38 that it won't matter too much. But a guy like Brandon Haynes not able to make it to the end, that's going to hurt his finishing position in this race, as he's going to be all the way back down here. But now let's see it here. Ricky LaFleur going to make his way through here. Can he make it to the end? We will see. So Ricky LaFleur coming out of this area, coming down. It's the final turn for one more time here, looking to win and go back-to-back at road courses, and he will do it. It's going to be Ricky LaFleur winning the Big Apple 200. So Ricky LaFleur gets the win, and second's going to be the 38 of Joseph Wood, third of the 27 of Matthew Hubert, fourth Ronnie Halker, fifth Raul Godorn, sixth Alexander Rowe, and seventh we don't know, because I don't know if anybody else is actually going to make it to the line here, it seems. So seventh is going to be the 9 of David Dixon, it seems. Patrick Nolan looking to get a top 10 here, as well as that 80 of Nick Mahone. So ED2 Ricky LaFleur gets another win on the season, goes back-to-back at road courses. Can he finally heat up once again? We saw him get quite a few runs, have quite a few solid runs, but I mean, his activity has dropped quite a lot in the past couple weeks, which has kind of contributed to this fall off this 82 team has. But he finally gets back in victory lane, and we'll see how this sets him up in points. He's likely going to still be in 5th right behind Matthew Huberts, who's in 3rd and 4th currently, but now Joseph would likely propel himself up. But if you're a guy like Brandon Haynes, you're in a tough spot here because Haynes is going to finish about 15th in this one, which for running where he was, likely going to stretch that to the end. But pretty solid race here from Watkins Glen as they make their way all around. We'll get into your finishing results from this one. Expected the fuel mileage finish. This widely did not happen. Don't know if it was not having better cautions loaded up or something, but not the fuel mileage ending that we were expecting. But let's go check out the finished results from this race. Alright, so as we get into your finishing results from this race, you see to be the 82 Ricky LaFleur getting the win over that 38 of Joseph Wood. And we'll stop there that they couldn't make it to the end, but unfortunately it's not, well, not unfortunately, but fortunately it's not a good, fortunately it's not a fuel mileage finish. So everybody seems to make it to the end, although some had issues, had to come down, get a little splash and continue going. But for a guy like Brandon Haynes, it didn't hurt them too much. But overall, pretty solid race weekend here from Watkins Glen, folks. I'm not going to hold you up too much because you know we do have, oh wow, Angel Gutierrez's gearbox went out before the line. Carson Miller had a tire go down. Oh no. That's going to shake it up quite a lot. And yeah, this is going to be quite a tight cutoff race heading into the finale next week of the regular season at Indianapolis. And for a guy like Brandon Haynes, once again, he's going to have to try to race his way into the chase because I think he's gonna just right be there. Meanwhile, Justin Wood looks like he's gonna be quite comfortable in the end of the chase standings after this one, as he's having a good string of weeks. So you just got to play it safe next week at Indianapolis and get some points. But these are some pretty crucial DNFs. But we'll see the finishing order here, folks. That is all from Watkins Glen. You know, a little bit more mellow with Watkins Glen race than we expected, but after all the chaotic races we've had the past couple weeks, this is kind of one that we needed to really chill out and just have a pretty solid road course race. So we saw quite a bit of passing. It really was quite entertaining at the beginning, but you see, I mean, a lot of guys really like 40, 45 seconds, all that. Like, some guys really were just having issues here. We can see really the fall off there. Then that Alfred and Abel wreck really kind of threw everything off, which is going to shake it up. Gutierrez finishes all the back here as well. So Racing Motorsports has a complete blunder of a weekend, and that is not what they need heading into the chase. They do not want to have any bad luck starts, so they need to figure their stuff out here pretty soon because you do not want to be on the bad side of luck when it heads into the chase. But that is like the first weekend we've seen all year where a Racing Motorsports truck has not finished in the top 10, so that's quite interesting. I mean, we still have another Red Bull Fallout truck win. But yeah, that was pretty much it here from Watkins Glen. See your finishing order, pretty interesting one. But next week at Indianapolis is when all the gloves come off, where everything matters more and more, and that one's gonna be a really fun one there. But now, folks, folks, we'll see how everything plays out, but that's going to be all from me here now at Watkins Glen, folks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, your Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy the rest of the NR2003 Racing. I know the Indy 250 is just on. It's going to be on soon, or has already started on, so go enjoy that one and watch that, as well as Cook 600 on for the JBL Cup Series later on this afternoon. And then overall, just enjoy your weekends, you know, with the news in real life with Kyle Busch and all that. Send prayers and all that out to his family, and just unfortunate. And it kind of adds a mellow mood onto the whole race weekend as in general. Even here, it's just, But, it's just one of the tough losses in the sport. So enjoy your weekends. Appreciate your loved ones, all that, everybody. And I'll see you all next week at Indianapolis for the regular season finale and the kickoff of the summer part of this Gainbridge Truck Series schedule. Kind of just the race at the end, honestly. The final 11 races are all just summer races. So see you all next time. This is Trey Davenport signing off from NR Truck 9 America. See you all next week.